Okay, so as I was saying, I have I think I said anyway, I have a 2 gigabyte SD card inserted, and what we're going to do is we're going to first partition the card. And at the very top, you'll see, with your magnifying glass, at this font, it says partition. Partition your SD card. And then it says clone. Then it says upgrade your boot menu. And then it says just install boot menu. And you go through this in order. You have to clone twice, and the system will reboot, in between every process here, which is perfectly fine. You'll notice after the first cloning, the menu that shows up when you first start your device, it's kind of wonky looking because it has in brackets options. Forget about that. Just let it run through and do its own thing. It'll flash, or rather, it'll start up inside of the default, which is the device operating system. The operating system on board the device. That's what you want to continue doing your cloning. And I'll show you better in a minute here. Anyway, so we're going to first start off with partitioning. By using your cute little D-pad on the left, you can scroll through and choose what you need to choose. And for this, with the stylus, I'm going to tap on OK. And it's giving me only one option here of what card I'd like to do this with. I've ticked the little box inside. There's a tiny little tick mark in there now. And for convenience's sake, I would really suggest you do, having only one card installed at a time. It saves on the confusion. And it saves on any possible errors you might encounter. And so I'm going to format this, and there we go. So it's asking me for the first FAT, and we're going to put, because this is 2 gigabytes, 128 megabytes of RAM. And the second, it looks like virtually the same little right up here, but this is actually the second partition at the end, which is going to be for your swap. The first partition is for your FAT, which you need for Windows to actually see your device. Very helpful, and we're going to give it the same value, 128 megabytes of RAM. Doesn't seem like a lot. Hell, 2 gigabytes doesn't seem like a lot either. There we go, and now it's asking me, this is what we're going to do, 120 megabytes here, 128 megabytes there, for the front and the back end, and the middle will be formatted as well, partitioned and formatted. And I click yes, and now it's saying there's a memory card available, and it's doing its thing. Let it do its thing. And it's also saying be patient right here. It's doing its thing. Be patient. Be very patient with this process, because it doesn't really tell you. See, there we go. Now then, it's done. Don't mind that. What I'm doing is I'm flashing over a card here. Flashing over a partition. Not flashing, partitioning over a partition, rather. So it finished what it needed to do, and it's rebooting. Normally it would just shut down and start up again, because it would be rebooting. You wouldn't see that screen if you were doing this from just a straight, fresh flash, a straight fresh partitioning. Okay. And we go back, straight back into X terminal. Here, I'll back this up a bit so you can see a bit more what's going on. And we go straight back into PBEZ. Now we're using PBEZ instead of PB because if we want the quickest method that is the simplest for a new person to use, oops, oh, I think I typed one too many E's there. B, E, A, S. There we go. And we're back in. Now we're going to clone. And yes. Oops. But sorry. I just didn't enlarge that. That wasn't what was intended. Okay, and you hit OK. And we're cloning now. Now it's going naturally to the box that tells you, which device would you like to clone to. And you tick the little box. And now it's giving you an amount of time to time out in seconds. I usually put 50. I find that that's good enough. And OK. And it's really that easy. Now it's doing all its stuff. It's prepping the entire device. It's formatting the FAT. It's formatting the swap, and it's formatting and cloning to the extension 3 partition that you're creating. Oops. Here. Now there's a memory card available, which is always good to see. And it says that. Don't mind if it ever says that there's a corrupted card. We've gone through that already. Just follow the process. If you feel like you've screwed up somewhere, just start over. I mean, you can't hurt anything here. And so it's halfway through the process, at which end it will need to reboot. Not a big deal. We'll let it do its job and reboot properly. Sorry for the fuzziness here. It's such a tiny font. I mean, at 16 or 20 font size, I can read this, but at 8, it's just so tiny, tiny. And I doubt I could actually use a magnifying glass successfully here to actually show you what things look like. How does that look? It looks a little better. Can you believe that? A magnifying glass with this. Oh, it's a good camera, but it's very, very, very tiny. You'll notice I'm tapping in the upper bar here at this empty space. I try not to tap anywhere else lest I muck something up here. I like to tap on an empty space, not on any part of the actual panel. That way I don't disturb the process or hit a key accidentally or open something. And we're almost done here. It's at 99%. It will hang here for a bit, for a minute, and then it'll need to reboot. And it's saying installing boot menu. Please be patient. This is a grand utility. PB is even more so, but it's more of the manual version of this, and it has so many tools inside of it. You can do just about anything with PB. And it will reboot. And there we go. And she's rebooting. And you see, voila. Okay, and we want to use the internal file.